Hi, Aquarius. This is a general reading for the sign of Aquarius. It is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. You know what is for you and what is not for you. Thank you, Spirit. Messages for the sign of Aquarius. I do want to thank you for your likes. We do appreciate those likes. It does help grow the channel and help spread the word. Positive karma, positive karma. What we put out into the universe is what we receive. Thank you, Spirit. Messages for the sign of Aquarius. I did want to talk a little bit about the moon phases this month, especially as we are entering towards the end of the month. September 23rd does mark the fall equinox. That fall equinox does bring in the energy of wanting to make changes and driving to make changes. And that is an intense energy for change. And then the 29th, the full moon, the harvest moon, is in Aries. And as the moon moves through Aries, feelings of uncertainty may creep into our thoughts. And during this time, we may feel like we would like to move a little bit faster, or we are feeling that things are feeling a little bit stagnant, and we may have a tendency to force ourselves or to rush ourselves or to push ourselves. And what that is, Aquarius, is Spirit is really asking us to slow down, to take our time and find our move at a pace that is comfortable for us. On our life's journey, on our soul's path, we all have a pace that is comfortable for us, a pace that works for us. And that is when we are in that, operating at that pace that is meant for us, that is when we are more productive. And that is when Spirit is able to come in and bring in the blessings that we so richly deserve. And the foundation of this reading, the underlying card of this reading, is the Two of Swords. And if we look closer at the Two of Swords, we see a person that is blinded to what is behind her or what is behind them. And so it's a willful blindedness. And she has the balance with the Two of Swords, but that balance is lacking because she's not aware of the spiritual, the emotional that is behind her. And so we do see that she's resting comfortably, and we see the moon there. And I do believe the foundation of this reading, the basis of this reading, we're going to be talking about your shadow self. And your shadow self is parts of yourself that you are unaware of or that you do not like to acknowledge or look at. But it is only when we can look at and embrace those parts of our shadow selves that we can become whole and we can become balanced. Let's see how your shadow self plays in to the rest of these cards. And we start off with this Nine of Cups. And look at that. And we go right into Pentacles. We go right into money. You've been wanting to ask for money. Maybe money that is owed to you. This is showing up in your work sector, your financial sector. There's money that is owed to you, or money that you feel like is owed to you. It could be money that maybe you're wanting to ask for a raise. Maybe you're wanting to ask for a bank loan, but it's money that you feel that you deserve. Money that you feel that you deserve. But you're not sure of how to ask for this money, or you're not sure how to approach asking for this loan back, asking for this money back. You feel that there's something owed to you, and you're not sure how to ask for it. And that not knowing how to ask for it, or to ask for what you feel is owed to you, or what you feel is fair compensation for the work that you have done, or even if you're asking a financial institution for a loan, or any time that you're asking for something and you're not sure of how to approach it, or you're not sure of how to ask, that uncertainty does come from your shadow self. That uncertainty is coming from your shadow self. And maybe you are unsure of the response that you're going to get from others when you ask. When you're asking for something that is owed to you, or you're asking for something that you deserve, other people's reactions should not be a determining factor, should not be a deciding factor. And so when we're worried about what other people are going to think or say, that's our own insecurities. And doing a little bit of shadow work can help us overcome those insecurities, Aquarius. But do know that you are deserving. And if something is owed to you, it is if something is owed to you, it is owed to you. And how other people react to that, that's on them. That's not on you. That's on them. That's not on you. You've put off waiting long enough. And I will also say that if you go in with a well thought out plan on how to ask, the energy is lining up for you. I think that you've put off this ask long enough. You have put off this ask long enough. It is time for you to ask. It is time for you to ask. Oh my gosh. And here we have this, again, someone owes you something. Somebody has taken something that was yours. There was a thief. In the home. There was a thief in the home. That took from you something that was a gift from your ancestors, something that was a gift or given to you or that you received from a family member. I will let you know, Aquarius, this person knows that they owe you an apology. This person knows that they owe you an apology. And they have been thinking about it. They have been planning or coming up with a way to approach you. And or they have tried to approach you to make amends, and you have not been receptive of that. Or if they do approach you to make amends, you will not be receptive to that. And so, Aquarius, what we put out into the universe is what we receive. And so, if you are wanting to ask for money, or if money is owed to you. And if someone approaches you to make amends, or apologize for a wrongdoing, and you're not receptive to that, you send out that negative energy, you send out that negative vibration into the universe that you're not in receiving mode. And so being in receiving mode is what opens up for positive to come in. So let's say on one hand you've requested or that you're wanting money, and on the other hand someone is coming to you asking or finding or seeking a way to make amends. If you say no to those amends, if you say no to those apologies, you put kind of up a stop sign for what it is that you want to come in. And so I think at this point it's about putting yourself in receiving mode. And the best way that we can put ourselves into receiving mode is by graciously accepting these amends or these apologies that are wanting to come in for you. And that when we are accepting an apology, or when we are letting other people make amends to us, we are doing that for our own selves and not necessarily for the other person. And so it's not that you're letting the other person off of the hook. And that's what I'm getting the feeling here of letting the other person off the hook. You don't want to let this other person off of the hook. You're wanting to let this person just sit in that. You're not wanting to give them any reprieve, so to speak. But in not giving this person the reprieve, or by keeping this person on the hook, you're keeping yourself on the hook as well. And so, there's that great saying, forgive, but don't forget. You can forgive and not forget. And when we forgive, we let ourselves off the hook. We let ourselves off the hook to receive the positive, to receive the good that is coming into us. Final thoughts, final messages, and I love that we start off with this 8 of Cups, which is leaving behind what is no longer serving you. And I really do believe that whatever this thief, whatever this person has done or taken from you, I do believe that you're coming into a time, coming into a mind space, coming into the energy of leaving behind what is no longer serving you. And when you leave behind what is no longer serving you, you have this beautiful Page of Cups here. And this Page of Cups again, I think is speaking towards your shadow self, speaking towards the spiritual. When you move into the energy of finding and discovering and connecting with the unseen, with spirit, with the energy of the universe, with the divine, with God. I mean, there's just so many labels that we like to put on spirit. There's so many labels that we like to put on God. And the divine, spirit, the universe really doesn't operate under labels. Those labels are for us here on this plane, us in this energy. And you're coming into a space where you are having that spiritual awakening. You are opening up to the possibility of all things spiritual. And that takes on a different energy, a different form for each of us. And I often do say, Aquarius, that spirit, that God, that the universe, that the grand divine reaches each and every one of us where we are at in a way that will best serve us. And so, in essence, there's not one right or wrong religion. There's not one right or wrong way of spirituality. Spirituality is just like each of us, just like snowflakes, just like raindrops, just like fingerprints, very unique to each of us. And I think that you are really becoming aware of that and really becoming in tune with that. And that starts with leaving behind what is no longer serving you and looking at your shadow self and what it is or what it was in your past that you don't necessarily like to look at, or that you're not exactly sure why you have come up with those beliefs, or what is driving those thoughts, what is driving that energy. I really do believe you're coming into a space where you can take that blindfold off and look at that. I will say, Aquarius, as that happens, as that awakening happens, as we open the door to exploring that spiritual side of ourselves and really question our beliefs and really look at our beliefs and the driving force behind our beliefs, and are these beliefs serving us, that can be a very emotional time. A very emotional time. Do take time, do make time for yourself. Quiet time, alone time. And what I've been telling many listeners for this week's reading is, especially if we go back to the phases of the moon and the effects that the moon is having on our lives, especially this last part of the month. I will say the last part of the month and the full moon is a good time to ask for money. So do consider that. And with the fall equinox coming in, I would say one mindful practice that you may want to incorporate into your ritual, and it's simple. You just need to take a few minutes every day to write 3 things down on a piece of paper. Write what it is that you would like to leave behind. what you can do to leave that behind, and something that you are grateful for. Gratitude. 3 things: the request, the action, and the thankfulness. And they don't necessarily all have to be related. And so the first day, and it can be just very simple, very basic. You don't have to write and write and write. If you do, that's fine and wonderful. But it can just be a 5-minute ritual that you take to write those 3 things down. The first day, you'll write those things down. The second day, you can revisit that you've written down. You can make adjustments or add to that list, and do that every day from the time you see this reading until the full moon on the 29th. And on the 29th, what you'll do is you'll have a little release it into the universe ceremony. And that ceremony, the first thing that always comes to our mind is a little bowl burning ceremony. If you are not comfortable with that, do be careful with fire. But you can have a little paper shredding ceremony. You can have a paper folding ceremony. There's just so many different little ceremonies of releasing that back into the universe and letting the universe sort that out for you. And that is the beauty of that release ceremony, is just turning it over to God, turning it over to the universe. And you will be surprised when you put out positive energy, the positive energy will come back. And that is the message that I have for the sign of Aquarius. Thank you, Aquarius. Do leave in the comment section one thing that you are grateful for. I think by leaving that in the comment section, it is a wonderful way to start that positive karma rolling and flowing back into your life, Aquarius. Have a blessed week.